Hey everyone, and welcome to Ameritech Talks, your go-to podcast for exploring the cutting edge of software development, AI, and tech innovation. I'm your host, Christina, Growth and Partnership Manager at Ameritech. Today we're diving into a game-changing topic, how artificial intelligence is reshaping coding, software development, and the entire tech landscape. AI is no longer just a tool, it's becoming a collaborator in the development process. Whether you're an engineer, a tech entrepreneur, or just curious about where AI is headed, the episode is packed with the insights you won't want to miss. And who better to guide us through this conversation than today's guest, Edward Cruz? Edward is the visionary in AI and software development. He's the founder and CEO of Go for Vertical, a company revolutionizing venture building with AI and accelerating startups globally. He also leads AI innovation at Ameritech and is currently gearing up to launch Mindboard AI, an AI system designed to function as a conversational second brain, learning and evolving with every interaction. Edward, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. Before we jump into AI and development, tell us a little about your journey. What led you to focus so deeply on AI driven innovation?
Again, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. So, I had a really interesting journey to arrive at AI, and it started about a year ago because Go Vertical, my company, we work with founders and startups, and our goal is to help them to develop tech for the very first time, to be able to successfully go to market, and to do this without depending on traditional investment or venture capital. And what I started realizing is that AI was changing how we were going to be able to do this, not just even slightly, but radically. And so I basically took what amounts to a sabbatical and took as much time as I needed to really figure out exactly how AI was going to impact our work with startups. And it turns out to have been an amazing journey and an amazing investment in that timing because we're in a new era right now where software development is something that can be vastly accelerated with the use of AI. I've never seen anything like this before. I was around for the original dot-com boom. I've seen major cities like Austin turn into tech hubs, over the course of the years. And those things happen, and it's great to see tech innovation like that firsthand. But with AI, it's happening sometimes literally overnight. It seems like every week or 2 weeks, there is some new major game-changing thing that is happening in AI, and that is completely changing the game for software development.
That's actually impressive, and you're completely right. It sometimes feels like we're barely keeping up with AI. And you've been working at the forefront of AI as a transformative force in development. So, what excites you the most about AI's role in coding and programming right now?
Yeah, so the most exciting thing for sure is the acceleration. It used to be that if you were going to be working on a project, you would probably be given an assignment or a task or a feature or something to build, and you would dutifully go and do that over the course of maybe a few days or a week or whatever it was, just a very reasonable pace. Now, with AI in the picture, that can happen in a matter of minutes sometimes or hours instead. And that is a huge game changer. That acceleration, the speed of delivering the software is unbelievable, to be honest. The other part of it too is that it changes the whole dynamic of how we have to work with delivering code because it becomes much more of a collaboration. And this is such a key part of it. AI is so powerful now, and it needs, though, guidance. It needs direction in order to achieve the goals that you want to achieve with it. And so that's where still being a coder and knowing exactly what needs to be delivered and to understand the best path to get there is an essential part of this because you're going to need to work and partner and collaborate with AI to be able to achieve this.
Well, yeah, and one of the biggest advantages AI brings to developers is an ever expanding tool set. From AI assisted coding to debugging, testing, and deployment automation, there is so much happening in space. So, can you bring down some of the most impactful AI powered tools right now? So, what should developers have in their stack to stay ahead?
Yes, great question. So there are basically two flavors of AI development tools right now. The first flavor are the tools that are for full stack development. They basically do everything end to end. You start with a prompt asking the AI what you want, and you wind up with a full app, sometimes in a matter of minutes. it's really truly unbelievable to see it. Some of the tools that are in that group are Replit, which is my personal favorite, but they're also Lovable and Bolt, which are absolutely taking the scene by storm here. They're doing amazing things in a very similar way. You basically provide a prompt to the AI, telling it what you want it to build, and it'll set up your environment. It will go and start setting up the scaffolding for your project. Based on your prompt, it'll build the functionality, sometimes the entire app, in a matter of minutes. And this is a huge game changer. It's something that only has been available for a matter of months. Really, this was released starting originally in, I would say, late last year, so like November, something like that time frame. And so it's only been a few months that we've had this capability, but there's already all these different tools that are evolving in that space. The second type of coding tool are the ones that are true coding assistants. And these are things that are actually more like traditional development environments, like IDEs, as we used to call them. So basically, where you go in and you're able to work on your code directly, but you have AI working beside you. So you would basically wind up prompting your AI and say, I need to fix this bug, or I need to enhance this feature, or I need to build something completely new here. And it's going to basically take that guidance and take whatever project you're working on. And as I was saying earlier, greatly accelerate the delivery of that. It's going to be done in a matter of sometimes minutes or hours instead of days or weeks. So those are the two main types. I should mention also, though, that it's so important to keep in mind that AI can also be extraordinarily useful for every part of the software development lifecycle. You can use it for product management. You can use it for project management, doing QA, doing production readiness. These are all essential parts of the software development process. And so although coding is where there's so much focus and so much value right now, you can absolutely use AI to help with every aspect of software development.
That is really interesting. And I love this idea of AI moving beyond just writing code. It's about actually delivering solutions. So, what
Yes.
mindset shifts do developers need to make to start thinking this way? How do we go from writing code to actually engineering solutions with AI?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first part is that you have to become familiar with this new way of delivering the code with AI, because you're no longer going to be a solo developer. You're effectively going to be like a pair programmer collaborating with AI. And that's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different sort of series of steps that you need to follow. There are techniques and things that you have to learn within each platform. So there's that learning curve. So that's step one, really, is becoming familiar with the tools. The second most important thing is understanding that you still need to deliver the same result that you would manually, just you're going to do it faster. And so that means you still have to have that eye on the prize. You still want to have that North Star in mind. And that means that you have to basically take ownership more as almost like a manager of the AI, because that's where it's going to really need your help and guidance. So I would say those are the two most important things: to find the tool that's going to serve your need, whether it's a full stack tool or one of the coding assistants, as I mentioned, and then get into a different mode. Sometimes they're calling this now vibe coding, which is like, hey, we're in a vibe. We're basically catching a wave of AI development. It's going to be really cool and fast and easy and fun. So get into your vibe mode of development, work with the AI collaboratively, and then make sure that you're just having that oversight, right? That you're focused on the end result and you're going to be working with the AI to deliver that. So those are the three things.
That's great. And for developers looking to actively integrate AI into their daily workflow, what's the best way to do that? So, are there specific strategies or best practices you recommend for real-time AI coding, maybe even in a team setting?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the great things about AI when you're collaborating with it is it shows its work and also its reasoning. Like, why is it doing this? You've given it a prompt or some direction. It's going to actually tell you why it's doing the things that it's doing. It's going to come up with a plan. It's going to show you what the steps are in the plan, and it's going to show you as it's executing the plan. So this is fantastic to have. It's an amazing resource. So the most important thing you can do is keep an eye on that and watch that whole process play out, and be ready to answer questions or to support it in its understanding of what the work is. and also to intervene if you need to, like, hey, that wasn't quite the right thing that I wanted to do, or I see that this happened, so let's try this instead. So I would say that just being extremely focused on the interaction with the AI, which is going to give you so much information about the work that it's doing, that's probably the most important thing that you need to do.
Oh, thank you, Edward. I know you've been working on some exciting AI-driven projects. Can you share some of what you're working on right now and maybe Mindboard AI or other AI initiatives at Ameritech?
Yes, absolutely. So Uh, Mindboard is our latest AI-based project. Go for Vertical, my company, we actually are a software studio, which means that we develop software in-house. And Mindboard is going to be our first AI release. I'm extremely excited about it. It's basically a second brain, which allows you to gain the benefit of using AI in a way that extends your understanding, your learning, your capabilities. You can think of it as giving yourself an IQ boost, maybe as much as 10 or 20 points. You just have to have your second brain, which is Mindboard, to help you do that. So we're getting very, very close to the release of that. It should come out sometime this month. So super excited about that. But what I'm also more excited about is the work that we're doing with Ameritech, because what we're now going to launch is a new certification for developers in Ukraine, where we train you to become proficient and even expert in the use of these AI tools. This is an incredible opportunity for developers to quickly accelerate their learning and understanding so they can become basically skilled in doing this and leverage those skills directly for capturing this moment in time, which is so incredible. So that is what we're now about to launch as well, and why I'm excited to be here today to announce that that's what we're going to be bringing.
And we're wishing you a lot of success with all your projects. And this has been incredibly insightful conversation. If there is one key takeaway you want developers to walk away with today, what would it be?
I would say the most important thing is to capture the moment right now. This is such a unique time that we're in. Like I said before, I saw the dot-com boom, 25 years ago. I saw major things happen in Austin, and I've never seen anything like this. This is an amazing time to be living in. And so I would hope that everyone listening to this would look into using AI for coding and for any part of software development, and to like catch the wave. Just grab right onto it and see how far you can ride it.
I love that perspective. AI isn't here to replace anyone, it's here to enhance what we do. And before we go, we'd love to hear from you, our listeners. What AI tools have transformed your development process? And what questions do you want us to cover in the next episode? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep the conversation going. We'll be featuring some of your questions in our upcoming episodes. Edward, thank you again for sharing your insights. It's been a pleasure having you on Ameritech Talks.
My pleasure. Thanks, Christina.